All right. I had a bunch of technical difficulties with the last one, and I have no idea what happened. So I thought I would just pop back on here and uh, see if I can't answer some more questions that I've been saving up. And if nothing else, maybe people will see me on here. Or if nothing else, I can answer some of these old questions that have been building up. And then I can refer these answers to people. All right. Um, Whoa, that's too. Oh, that's a really long email that I can't even read right now. Gene says, um, that's too long of a question. Let's see. James asks, just curious what type of metric bolts to use for Meraki trucks on Soulboardy. I'm pretty sure I need button head bolts, but the Meraki bolts are countersunk. If so, what size? Any advice? James, if you search for, I'm searching for Yao Surfskate hardware because I'm trying to find my own blog article that where I answer this question. Here we go. Um, okay, so I'm just looking on my website. The Yao front adapter uses 5/8 inch flat hex bolts, and the rear truck uses 2-inch flat hex bolts. Um, and they're 10-32 flat hex bolts. So I don't believe they are metric to answer the question. But if you go to my Yao Surfskate review and buyer's guide on my blog, you will get all of those measurements on the Yao hardware. All right, I'm seeing a couple people jump in, so if you have questions, chat your questions. In the meantime, I'm answering questions that I've been gathering for months. Forgive me, people, from emails. Snake boards. So here's a guy in South Africa who wants, basically, it's a really long email, but the gist of it wants me to review snake boards. I have no idea what snake boards are, so I don't know what to tell you. Something about a C7. Oh, all right. So this person, they're showing me a picture of, they've got wheel bite, a little bit of wheel bite nick on under the underside of their board from their Carver C7. And I guess they're asking, is there something wrong with the track settings? I mean, not necessarily. I I get wheel bite marks on pretty much any surfskate truck. That's just kind of a typical thing. It could be that you're riding it too loose, but it's not necessarily. That's just really not anything to be worried about. Is the bottom line. But if you're getting consistent wheel bite, from what I'm viewing in the pictures, sorry to clarify for anybody watching it, because I'm not trying to say wheel bite's not an issue. The picture I'm seeing is just seeing little nicks that everybody gets on a Carver C7. But if you're getting consistent wheel bite on a surf skate truck, then I personally would address it because it's dangerous. I've gotten hurt a lot of times on wheel bite. So yeah, then if things to address wheel bite, you can add riser pads. If it's a deck you don't care about, you can use a Dremel, or if you have a better tool, whatever tool, you can carve out wheel wells in it. You can use smaller wheels. You can use stiffer bushings. There's a number of steps that you can take to reduce wheel bite. But if you're just getting nicks here and there on a Carver C7, everybody gets that. But if you're getting consistent wheel bite, you probably want to dismiss it. Yes, this is live. How you doing, David? Good to see you, brother. Paul asked, did you talk about the OctoSurf yet? How heavy is it? I can't remember exactly, Paul, but it's pretty much the heaviest. You're talking about the OctoSurf. The new one, forgive me. I had in my head, the old Type X. I have not weighed the OctoSurf, and to weigh it, I'd have to pull it off of a deck right now, but I can tell you that it is, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's probably lighter than the Yaomeraki, but it's reasonable. It's not nearly as heavy. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. If I were to weigh, the top 16 trucks or whatever, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle of them, but it's definitely reasonable. The OctoSurf is fantastic. My surf rider Ace down in San Diego is very big on the OctoSurf. He says that he's riding it mostly right now. And that's him as a surfer. And they're also really great for bull riding. So me personally, I really, it's not something that I would ever ride just because of my riding style. But the OctoSurf they fixed all the issues I had. If you've watched my review of the Octo, you know that it makes a noise. There's some issues with it. The OctoSurf has none of those issues. They fixed it, and it's fantastic. David is eagerly waiting for my park wheels to be released. You and me both, brother. Oh man, if you guys come on these live streams, I guess you're going to get insider information, even though these are public. But man, I'll spare the details. Bottom line, trying to develop your own wheel that requires its own molding is really, really hard. And I have literally I submitted my first drawings to my manufacturer in June of 2022. And I just paid for the final, you have to pay for 2 molds. There's an initial mold that you get to get samples to make sure it's what you want. And then once you commit to that, then you have to get the final molds that will last longer. So I've just paid. I mean, listen, we're all, this is insider information, but I'll just bottom line it for you. I'm 2 years and $7,000 into development on these Park and Bowl wheels. So yeah, you're not the only one. And I'll just tell you this. I won't ever be developing my own wheels again. Once I've got these park wheels, I've got my lineup that I'm going to run with, but it's just way too much of a hassle. It is no fun. So, but to answer the question, and maybe I even gave too much details, but I placed an order to my manufacturer, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, which means that I should have them hopefully within a month. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to have them by the end of the month, within May. So if you're subscribed to my email list, then you'll see an announcement. And not only will you see an announcement for it, but you'll also get a deal for them. My minimum order is batches of 125 sets. So I've got 125 sets coming, and I think those are going to go really fast. To be honest, I expect those to be gone within a week, because I'll blow those first set out at 50% off. And then actually, well, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. those first set just to get them out, get people talking about them. But then what I'm going to do is the second that I get that batch, I'm going to place another order because it's about a month. It's typically 4 to 6 weeks for me to get a turnaround. So my point is to say that you want to be subscribed to my email list if you want those, and if you want to get those on a deal within this month. And by the way, if you're curious of how to join my list, the best way to do that is to just go sign up for my giveaway at surfskate.love/giveaway, and enters you to win the giveaway, and also subscribes you to my mailing list to get notifications about that. I am not sure how to pronounce Elise or his name. Started surf skating this month as well. Thanks for your videos. They helped a lot. Thank you for the kind words. I very much appreciate that. That's what I came here to do, is put smiles on faces. So that means a lot. Thank you very much. Jesse says, do you think 10 inches wide skateboard with deep concave will be good for a Carver CX trucks? Yeah, it depends on the first measurement that I would want to know is your wheelbase measurement, because if it depends on if you're, a typical skateboard with like a 14 to 15 inch wheelbase, depending on how tall you are, if you put a surf skate truck on it, that may be too narrow for your stance width and might not work. So the very first measurement that I'd want to make sure that you were getting right is the wheelbase. But as far as 10 inches wide, for me, a surf skate deck, I want it to be a minimum of 10 inches wide. And on these longboards that I'm riding, they are, my preference on them is 11.25 inches wide. So in theory, 10 inches wide skateboard with deep concave would work great on the Carver CX trucks, but the more relevant and first measurement is wheelbase to make sure that it'll fit with your stance width. All right, going back to Crew says, I'm looking to build a custom setup. I was wondering if the Meraki S4 front truck could be paired with a waterborne rail adapter. Yes, of course. Yes, if you don't, the waterborne rail adapter can be paired with anything. And the advantage that it gives you is that it's funny, sitting like this puts thumbs up bubbles on my screen. The advantage of the rail adapter is that it keeps your back wheels on the ground tighter when you do deep leans. So it gives you more grip for tighter carving. And for me personally, I don't use the rail adapter on anything that's not one of these longboards that's over 50 inches long that I've gotten into. But for the longboards, for me, the rail adapter is absolutely indispensable, because the longboards, they actually get very slidey. And the rail adapter really helps to keep those back wheels on the ground. But bottom line is you can pair the rail adapter with anything. And some people like it, some people don't. But it's definitely worth having in your quiver and trying, because it has a lot of advantages and a lot of uses, especially if you do any kind of advanced customization. Oh, this is really funny, because I'm reading an email from clear back in November. David, forgive me. Here's an email clear back in November from who's now my team rider, David Kempinen, who asked me back in November, I'm interested in getting a Smooth Star deck for my Meraki truck set. I'm 6'4", my stance with the 16 inches, coming from a skateboarding background, the deep concave is super appealing, but there's no information on the Smooth Star site about the wheelbase length. Do you have any? Okay. Here is my, I don't think it's any secret how I feel about Smooth Star. And I don't think, and I'm I'm certain that I know that I'm not alone in it. My humble opinion is that when you buy a Smooth Star Complete, you're paying for a $300 front truck because the decks are like they're like 5 ply birch. I personally I've received several private messages from people showing me their Smooth Star decks snapping in half just randomly. Like one guy was just riding down a ramp. He wasn't even doing it, just split in half on him. I had, you shouldn't do this with any deck, admittedly, but I had some decks out in my garage in the heat. And among them was Smooth Star deck. And out of all of them, the only one that warped from the heat was the Smooth Star deck. So for me personally, I would never recommend that anybody get a Smooth Star deck. I don't like them. This is personal preference, not really even a criticism. It's me just saying I don't understand it, but we all different strokes for different folks for whatever. But I personally don't really understand the Smooth Star business model where they don't really give you a lot of options. All of their decks are the same. It's like they have a really particular vision of what their product is supposed to be. And that, they don't sell their truck separately, and they force you to get their style of decks. And listen, there's a lot of people who really love the Smooth Star deck. So who am I to say? It's personal preference, but I just don't like the lack of customization about it. And granted, if you buy a Carver Complete or a Yow Complete, you're going to get whatever deck you're getting with it. Yet you can also buy all of those trucks separately: the Yamaraki, the Carver C7, the Carver CX, the Waterborne Surf adapter. So, the Smooth Star Thruster is one of the very few adapters that you can't buy separately. And me personally, I would never spend money on a Smooth Star deck. And if I wanted a Smooth Star in my quiver, I would buy the Complete because you have to. And then I would promptly replace everything else but the truck. But that's just me. Jonathan asks, what is your favorite setup right now? Jonathan, I said this so I'm here on the second one because I was 30 minutes onto a first one and we had some technical glitch. It went like 8 minutes and then I had no idea what was wrong. And anyway, so I had been through all of this, but I haven't ridden anything. I've ridden nothing but these longboards ever since I gotten into them. I'm just literally not even interested in anything else. So I haven't ridden anything less than a 40-inch wheelbase in 6 months. So my favorite setup, right? The 3 that I use consistently, I can't grab them for you, but I've got this 74-inch old Hamboards deck that it wasn't really even a model that they made. It was, they had like literally like 10 of these that they put electric motors on. And I scrounged this one up in Costa Mesa, California on Facebook Marketplace. And so I put a Waterborne Surf adapter on it. So this is 74 inches long, which I'm 6'2", so that's 4 inches longer than I am tall. And if you watch the most recent video on my channel, you'll see it on my channel. But so I ride every day. I ride that one, and then I ride the Kahuna Creations one that you'll see on my channel. It's a white one. It's 60 inches long, and I want to 14 or 15 inches wide, and that's got a Waterborne Dream adapter on it. And then my favorite of all of them that I've tried over 50 inches long is this old Sector 9. They called them Luke Nosewalkers. So if you can get on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, and it doesn't really help to search for them because most people selling them don't even know the name of them. But Sector 9, and I don't even know what years these came out, but Sector 9 actually had 2 versions of what they called a Luke Nosewalker. And if I had a more portable setup here, I would show them to you. But one of them is just a flat deck, and the other one has an upturned nose and tail and also some concave on the deck. And that one is out of all these longboard decks that I've been searching for, it's the most popular. Like I've been able to find 4 of them personally, and I've given 2 to team riders, and I don't remember what I did with the other ones. I have one for myself and whatever. My point being, out of all of them I've tried, these Sector 9 Luke nose walkers, but the flat ones. I personally am actually not a big the one if it's all you have, the one that has concave in the upturned nose and tail, if it's all you have, it's fantastic. But if you can find the one that's just flat, and good luck, because I've been searching eBay and Facebook Marketplace for months and months and months, and I've found the only one that I've ever been able to find. And I don't even, and that was a long answer to what's my favorite setup right now. It's these longboards. And I'm coming out with this collaboration with Waterborne. In fact, we just barely submitted. We're calling it the Surfskate Love Waterborne XL, 56 inches long. Basically, what I did was I did all my research from riding all these 25 plus over 50 inches long, and I put together the specs that I wanted, that I thought would be best. So we're putting together a 56 inches long with 41-inch wheelbase, 11.25 inches wide at the widest, got a good flex to it. We just submitted our final prototype drawing to our manufacturer, and we hopefully will be coming out with that. I'm hoping within, I'd say, 2 months on that. And that, you certainly don't have to get my deck, but good luck finding them on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. They're very hard to find. And you're either going to find ham boards or vintage stuff. And for me personally, ham boards don't work. I really like that big, crazy 74-inch long that I was just talking about, but nothing else in the ham boards line up. I never ride any of them. Like the 60-inch logger just doesn't feel good at all. So anyway, you can find the ham boards, and they'll work on a Surfskate truck. I personally don't like them. So you're looking for vintage stuff, and you just pour through eBay and Facebook Marketplace, but they're very hard to find. All right. Yeah, Banana Pharma says the Smooth Star. I tried all the ply, tried to start it separate like pages in a book. Yep, exactly. You're not the only one. I get reports about the Smooth Star stuff all the time. On the longboards, try wedging the back truck. This is Paul says, on the longboards, try wedging the back truck. It will tighten up the turning radius and make them ride like a clown car. Loads of fun. Love the suggestion, Paul. That's great. I've like I said, used the rail adapter on these longboards, but I haven't tried any kind of wedging. And that sounds like fun. So I think that's worth a shot. Concrete Ocean says, purchased a Swelltech deck, only drilled holes to put a Yamaraki front and Carver C2 rear. I really like it because of the kick pad on the Swelltech tail. I love the content, Steve. Well, first of all, thank you kindly. Second of all, I love the setup. What I said on my first live stream was, I really believe that the future of surf skating is customization, especially the more that people get educated, because, God bless the companies. I don't mean to be critical, because I have enough experience in this space now to have a lot of compassion for the companies. The margins here, people are just so slim in the skate industry. And so, I don't really expect the surf skate companies to come out with really high quality component parts on their component parts, because they would have to just charge even more than they already do. Things like bushings, but Yao bushings, for example, are, when you replace Yao bushings with Riptides, that Yao bushings just are really not good. There's really Carver. I must say, Carver has upgraded their bushings recently. the old bushings, it was a world of difference between a stock Carver bushing and a Riptide 90A, which was actually stiffer. It would feel softer, more flowier. But I just tried we just got a ghost net to review for our team, and it has the new bushings in it, and the new Carver bushings are fantastic. So Carver is always innovating on that front. But anyway, this is me getting verbose on customization. But the long and short of it is, the more people get educated in this space, the more you're going to see people customizing, because that's really where it's at. Not only can you get the best setup that feels right, but also for me, messing around with custom setups, that's the fun for me. Like putting together custom setups is so much fun. All of that experimenting, trying different decks, different trucks on different decks. That's where surf skating gets really fun, and you get a real even deeper emotional attachment to it when you have that level of involvement, and you know what durometer bushings work best for you. When you really get into customization, it becomes very empowering and very fun because it opens up a world of possibility to you. So I am all about the customizing. Cute Totem says, "Are drop through longboards a no go for surf skating, or is it possible to make it work?" There's certainly no go for me. You can't, of course, you can make it work. I think the CX actually would work just fine on it if I had to guess. I'm certain I've seen people ride them. Me personally, I would never do that. I think that you have so many other options that would feel so much better than a drop through deck on a surf skate. John Chandler loves the 95A bushings. Nice. That makes it nice and stiff. Have you heard about Ice Dragon B9 Pro trucks and T9 Pro trucks? I have not. David Scrudgy says, "I like the new soft Carver CX bushing." Yeah, they're great. Carver's really innovating, and I also really like their new wheels too. They're the new wheels that are on the Ghost Net are their new. Are their slide wheels that are rounded edge is a different formula too. It's not just the same formula with rounded edge, and so I'm a big fan of those wheels. Oh, I got to answer this for John Crawford, who's not on, but he asked me to address this. From my count, it looks like we have 18 people on right now. Is there anybody here who has a question about the new Carver Surf Rider? It's the C5 that has they did their own tooling where they chopped down and narrowed the hangers even more. The C5 hangers are already narrower than the CX, and then they made them even narrower. And so there's a lot of people been asking me about the Surf Rider because I got a chance to try one at this event that I was at down in Carlsbad. I love it. I was immediately hooked. I want one. I'm going to be getting one for sure. I'll be doing a review with my team riders because me personally, I can't do much with it, but my riders will be able to do a lot with it, and it'll be fun to watch them. But I could be wrong, and I have no idea. But when I rode that Surf Rider, well, first of all, people are asking I've seen questions on the forums if they're asking if it's like their version of the Yow Legacy trucks, and that's not the case at all. I would actually say that the narrower hanger makes it even more surf skatey. Like it makes it so it's very easily pumpable. The Yow Legacy feels like a pumpable skateboard. The Surf Rider feels legit like a surf skate, like a mini surf skate. John, what was John Brooks says he rode at Surf Fest, and great. Yeah. So anyway, what I was getting to is I could be wrong, but I think that we're going to see a resurgence of both. The longboards is my hope because I'm a big fan of them. They're so much fun. And with this new Surf Rider, I think we're going to see a resurgence of these minis. It's like a penny board that actually works. And you can do, and so much more versatile and very carvy. it was really cool, really fun. I'm definitely going to have, like, I want one for two reasons. Not only is it just fun, it just feels good. And it's obviously going to be like, couldn't be on the more opposite end of the spectrum from where I'm at right now with my longboards. But number one, it's just fun. And I want to do a lot of just cruising around my college campus, farting around on it. But also, I feel like it's going to help my balance because it's forces me, and I'm 6'2", so I'm taller. So for me, I'm a taller rider for it, which is going to narrow up my stance width, which I like because it's going to help me with balance because I'm practicing my cross stepping on my longboard. So that's my interest in it. But the bottom line is it's fantastic. It's very surf skatey. It's a lot of fun. It feels nothing like Legacy. It feels, in my humble opinion, feels more pumpable than the original C5s with the narrower hanger. So I'm big on the surf rider, got to be honest. Yeah, I have tried. Wolf Hands asked, have you tried the Globe Surf Skate? I answered this in my first one where we had technical difficulties, and I'll tell you my bottom line. I'm not a fan of it. It does not feel nearly as good as the C7. It has a weird slip out effect when you hit a certain point in your rail to rail lean on it. So, and I have one. I've been sitting on a review of it, and I'm not motivated to review it because my take is don't buy it. But whatever. Some people like it. So I made this point in my first one where I've kind of, if there's stuff that I'm not big on anymore, as a rule, I kind of you just won't see me review it. But anyway, that's my bottom line take on the Globe. And I don't have a lot of respect for what they've done. And I personally would never buy one, but that's me. Have I gotten to check out the newer Curve trucks? Mr. J, this is not the first report that I have heard of this. And I reached out to Curveboard. I've gotten a couple reports of people saying the same thing, that the new Curveboard doesn't like it. It's not like if you hold it up, it's not going to just swing with gravity like it used to. And I asked Curveboard about it, and they said they hadn't really made any changes. So I don't know how to explain that, but I haven't tried it. I don't know. I'll tell you what makes the difference for me with Curveboard trucks is it's not that, it's de-wedging it. And I really wish Curveboard is just now, if you're subscribed to their mailing list, they just barely came out with I just got an email from them where they're educating you on the wedging and de-wedging options of the Curveboard. It's a frustration to me because when I did my reviews, they said nothing about this. And then I later found out, it was actually through Draho at Soulboardy. Draho at Soulboardy started experimenting with wedging and de-wedging the Curveboard, figured out some stuff and started spreading the word. Word got to me. I started playing with it, figured out that an 8 to 12 degree de-wedge on the front Curveboard truck completely transforms it. It gets rid of the hitch. It gives you more rail to rail lean. It gets rid of all the problems except for the rattle. It still has a rattle, is why I still won't use it. But my point being, then when I figured this out, I private messaged Curveboard and said, hey, did you guys know that de-wedging your truck totally transforms it? And they go, yeah. And I was like, well, then why aren't you educating people on it? And why didn't you tell me that before I did my review? Because I would have made that a very big point in my review. So I still need to do an update on this to talk about this. But long story short, you want to transform the Curveboard, de-wedge it by 8 to 12 degrees. Cute Totems has a Soulboardy Curveboard with the de-wedge. It actually feels super nice. Yes, it does. Oh, and Mr. J says the new one has no rattle at all. So good on Curveboard. They must be figuring something out. I'll have to write it. This is, I'm going to say, the fourth person that I've heard this from. And so I know that, sorry, I got dry mouth from talking so much here. Status Skate Shop down in Carlsbad. I'm in southern Utah, so that's like 6 hours south for me. He just bought like 100. He bought a big stock of them that they had in the U.S. But I don't know if they're the old one or the new one. But I'll have to ask him about that. But I can potentially get my hands on one through him. I think I don't really have any other questions. I could go into questions that I've gotten through emails, but between doing a half hour on my first one and then jumping back on for another 35 minutes here, I think we're probably good here. But here's one more question. Given your trial and error with dialing in your preferred wheelbase, have you considered designing surf skate decks? I am, as we speak. If you heard it, I already have designed a longboard deck, a 56-inch longboard deck that's going to be a collaboration project with Waterborne. So it'll be the Surf Skate Love Waterborne XL, 56 inches long, 41 inches, 41-inch wheelbase, 11.25 inches wide at the widest point. And we just submitted our final prototype drawings to our manufacturer, which is actually Madrid in Huntington Beach. I don't think that's any secret. In fact, I'm sure we'll talk about this on our launch video. It's cool because Madrid, it was really fun because we got on the phone with me, Pat, and two guys at Madrid. If you don't know who Madrid is, they're a huge skateboard manufacturer out of Huntington Beach. But we got on a Zoom call with the four of us so that I have them in my living room and show them all the stuff that I've been working on and walk them through what I was looking for. And I'm showing them all these old decks, like these old Sector 9 Luke Nosewalkers, and they were like, yep, we made that one. I show them this old, if anybody knows the Afroman Productions Big Worm, like, I don't know how many of these were made, but it's like, you can't find them. They made that. They were, as I'm rattling all these off, they're like, yep, we made that. We made that. So it was awesome. I found the manufacturer that has been making all of my favorite decks already. So they have all of the flex dialed in. And so it's been a interesting and fun process, but, so that'll be coming out within a month or two, but, I got to tell you, innovating in this space is incredibly difficult. It's very, very, very difficult. I've learned a lot coming here. And anybody who comes into this space, you're here for love and passion. Because it's a long, hard road. There's no margins here. There's no money here. It's just what, you do it for fun. And that's what you've got out, if you look out in the aftermarket deck, surf skate deck world, you'll have companies like Soulboardy and Abion who have really been making decks for a long time. But then you've got guys like, check out Booyah Boards, Booyah. He's a guy in Germany, Dan, great guy, has a YouTube channel. He's a guy who just came along and said, there's nobody making decks the way I want them, and made his own. And there's a lot of people out there doing that. So long and short of it is, if you're going to design your own surf skate deck, you do it, or anything in this space, you do it for love and passion and for fun. And that's it. Because it's very difficult and time consuming. It takes a lot of time to develop and whatever, but also fun. So, all right. Thanks for attending, everybody. I hope you found this useful. I'll be doing this. I apologize for the technical difficulties on the first one. I have no idea what to do about that. I guess in the future we would just end it and try to start it again. But expect to see me here the first Sunday of every month now moving forward at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, whatever that is for you. So, hey, so not only thanks for being here, but thanks so much for your support. Surf Skate Love, whatever this thing is, would not exist without people like you, supporters like you. This skate world is an interesting world. There's so many amazing, good people here, and there's also a lot of weirdness here, and so it's nice to be amongst friends. So I appreciate you all. All right, thanks so much, and I will see you all in a month.